The bourbon boom is done. Bust is on. I don't give a shit what anybody else says. Done. It's over. The bust is here. The boom is kaput. Bourbon is done. No more will you ever see another bottle of whiskey again. All right, so that was a little dramatic. That's
You think?
a whole lot of bullshit. Bourbon will be around forever, and it's not going anywhere. But this whole boom, this explosion of whiskey and all these NDPs and non-craft distilleries, and they're done. They're gone. They're over. Be lucky if if half of them aren't gone by next year. Hopefully the ones that we love have been established enough to survive.
Do you think so?
Well, there's already been a bunch based on my notes. Remember, whiskey fans, if Homer's got notes, it means it's an important video. Could be a rant, but I don't think I'm going to get there today. So let's get into this specifics. There's a reason I got this Bardstown sitting here, is because
Bardstown's not gone.
that's what we're talking about. How about you pop that and pour us some?
Okay. But Bardstown's not gone.
No.
Yeah, so. You guys, I'm here just like you are, listening for the first time.
Yeah, Amy has no idea what we're talking about. She's just here to be part of the team. And basically to give us...
We're both going to have the same?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Let's not. Why don't you grab that other bottle over there, and we'll have a different one.
Okay, well, you start your rant.
So, this is also
Green
a Bardstown Bourbon Company. The point of this conversation is because more shit is happening. It's like Amy said last time, I was really hung up on all this. I'm not hung up on it so much as it just keeps coming up. Every week there seems to be something new coming around. So I've got all my notes right here, and we're going to get into them. So let me read this. So the very first one is kind of not that big related to the boom, busting of the boom, but I'm going to bring it up because it obviously is not a good look. It's bad for publicity, bad for anything, for any company, but I also think it might be a little bit of horseshit. So Bardstown is sweating some shit right now because they're in a lost gender discrimination.
Oh, gosh.
Now, before I get into my little baby rant about this particular situation, gender discrimination, any discrimination, it's a thing. It does happen. It does exist in this world, not just in our country. Like most major media fuckers want you to believe, the United States isn't the only place with discrimination issues. But with that said, this thing right here, this gender discrimination, it's a woman claiming gender discrimination.
What does that have to do anything with the bourbon?
Well, it hurts the company, which makes things very difficult for them to be successful on the bust of the damn downward turn.
Okay.
But my point being is, when I was looking at this Bardstown stuff, I just had to mention this because this woman's claiming gender discrimination, and I couldn't find out specifics. Now, she was the VP of HR, so I don't know if she's claiming discrimination based on their practices towards what she could see every day at her job, which I think someone in HR would be able to be like, well, they've had 10 openings and they hired 9 men. Or they had 10 openings and 9 women interviewed and they hired 1 man and didn't hire anybody else. You know, if it's very obvious because she could see it in her job, I get it. But if it's her claiming it for some reason about her and it's a one-person thing, I don't want to hear it. It's horseshit. I can't fucking fart without hearing about women in bourbon. My Bourbon Plus magazine that I get 4 times a year is nothing but women. All the fucking time. There are so many women master distillers and master blenders. There's a fucking ton of them.
Women empowerment.
I don't think there should be anybody empowerment. Women should just be successful based on the fact that they can do shit. Look at, again, here you're gonna fucking get on me again because I'm gonna bring her up. Nancy Fraley's one of the fucking most respected people in this goddamn industry. She's a woman, last time I checked, and people fucking love her. That Alex Castle at Augusta, she's kicking ass. Everybody loves her. And the Marianne girl that was at Castle and Key and went somewhere else and is doing something else, everybody fucking loves her. No one's complaining when they make good shit. So I don't want to hear this discrimination crap.
But women have better palates.
I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah, so it makes sense.
I don't give a fuck what sense is or anything. If someone does something well, then they deserve the fucking job. I don't want to hear this shit. I don't want to hear it. There's so many women in bourbon and whiskey right now. It's ridiculous. It's not ridiculous. They deserve it. They deserve it. But anyway, moving on. No baby rant. It's over. All right, so let's get into this Bardstown Bourbon Company. So we all know about Green River laying off their damn master distiller and laying off people and shutting down productions and all this shit, whatever. But the new news is Bardstown is cutting back. Bardstown Bourbon Company, who didn't have anything going on with them as far as the restrictions of this bourbon bust, is they are now cutting down to 1 shift of whiskey production. 1 8-hour shift. That's it. No more. And Green River is gone down to none. And all they're doing is as needed basis. They're on an as needed process model based on what their buyers are, not on the consumers, but on their contracts for their MDPs. So any MDP, the source, or people who buy this source product is from Green River. That's what they're making.
Well, maybe they've overdid everything. I mean,
that's exactly.
You walk into a liquor store, there's Green River there.
Well, I mean, that's what all this is about.
Yeah.
The whole thing is about overproduction.
Overproduction. And I mean, why would you need more than 8 hours of making bourbon?
Well, to meet the demand. But they met the demand. They made too much. We all know that Bardstown is owned by a parent company and then another parent company. But the first parent company is Lofted Spirits. Here's another red flag of why bourbon and whiskey is on a downturn and that white liquor is on the upturn again. Because Bardstown will be producing rum for Lofted Spirits, who is their owner. And this rum production will be 50% of all of Bardstown's production.
Well, rum's not in the best.
So with this rum, that's just it's a sign of the 70s and 80s. Whiskey went down and then all the white liquor went up. About 10, 20 years ago, whiskey had started the boom, and now we're hitting the bust. It'd be interesting to look and see what rum, whiskey, vodka, what they did, if they dropped down when the whiskey market jumped up. But it seems to all be cyclical. It happened in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, came back up. It's like the generations are just skipping each other, like anything else, any other trends. Bell bottoms, tight clothes, very small, or the big fucking flowing, large, oversized clothing, or whatever. Just trends they don't seem to create new trends, they just seem to repeat themselves from years and generations ago.
Well, and the same thing is 60s and 70s, drugs went up. Alcohol, we weren't drinking as much alcohol, and right now, weed is everything.
Yeah, the CBDs and all the gummies and all
people are making their drinks out of that now.
Yeah, they are.
And they're not using alcohol.
True.
So that may be a change from history.
But the point being for the white liquor part, and that's a very good point, that is true, but it doesn't correlate with the thing that Lofted Spirits does not feel the need to drop their white liquor production.
Maybe they should all just lace their stuff with CBD.
Maybe. But then that'd get me fired. BBC and Lofted made a statement. This is funny. This is hilarious. So the CEO, whenever they're making statements about the rum and stuff, they're like, yeah, but we got to talk about how awesome our whiskey is still. They're out there pimping their newest whiskey that Bardstown created, the Cascadia Gariana Oak Barrel Finish, which we haven't had. But by all accounts that I've heard, it sucks. It's no good. Like Bardstown, I'm not a huge fan of Bardstown. I don't dislike Bardstown, but I don't think their stuff is amazing. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's bad. I think it's good enough. A lot of people love it. A lot of people are all over this. Bardstown is great. You need to try all the different discoveries and origins.
There's a lot of them, and they're not cheap. They're pretty high priced in every one of them.
Well, the origins are average price, but the
origins aren't the good ones.
Well, the origins are the basic stuff, which is what this is. And then there's a bunch of the discoveries and all the other blends and shit they do, which they are pretty high, $100 or higher. This Cascadia shit wasn't easy to get, and it was not cheap, and it was a little bottle, just like the Cathedral. It's, by all accounts, it's trash. I haven't seen anybody say it's freaking amazing. I've seen people say they like it, but most people say they hate it, or it's not good. We haven't tried it. And based on what I've seen, I'm not going to try it. So,
they need to get rid of it before nobody buys anything.
Yeah, tell me about it. They probably don't have that much of it anyway, because they like doing shit like that. So anyway, I'm going to read some AI shits, some internet things. These are my notes, and I got more notes instead of writing them all down. I'm just going to read them off of here. To move on from Bardstown, we're just going to talk more about the busts and things like this that go along with busting issues. So we've got I Googled what craft distilleries have closed in the past year, and it says over 50 craft distilleries have closed in the past year, which may or may not be the case, but I can't find a list of 50, but I did find 5, and this is the modern media. They say on the headline, whiskey industry takes a hit as 5 popular brands file for bankruptcy, including Boston. The whole city filed for bankruptcy. I didn't know
including in Boston.
Yeah, whatever. Who gives a shit?
What is in Boston that's so wonderful?
I never heard of anything in Boston. So anything that far north can't be good. So Anyway, so let's get to the list here. We've got Westward Whiskey, which I made a video about a year ago that they're done. So that's not, it's like they're talking like that's a new thing. It's not Westward Whiskey. And then Boston Harbor Distillery, they're done. Never heard of them. House Spirits Distillery, never heard of them either, but they're done. And then San Antonio's Devil's River Distillery, never heard of them either, but they're done.
It's people that are not established.
So those are craft distilleries. So they're not going to be established. They're craft distilleries. And then Rogue Ales and Spirits, they're done. Now, I've heard of Rogue Beer. I've never heard of Rogue Spirits. Devil's River, never heard of them. Westward Whiskey is the only one of all these I've heard of. So this whole news media saying, oh, 5 popular brands that filed for bankruptcy, they may be popular, but they ain't popular enough for me to hear of them.
So everybody that just started doing these little tiny things should have never done it. It's just like any business. You have to make it 5 years to say you're successful.
I think it's 7.
It's 7 to 10 years.
But
you have to,
anyway,
in order to be successful. Well, it's just any other business, you have not made it.
So there were so many people that probably during COVID, like, I started drinking whiskey because they couldn't do anything else and they could have liquor delivered to them. Mm-hmm. And they started, that seems like when the boom really let off was COVID. So probably a lot of these NDPs said, let's do this. And
let's make this.
Now they're like, we can't, no one's buying them shit. So there are craft distilleries or NDPs who are thriving, like Whiskeytube. I feel like they are. Dark Arts, they're doing very well.
Oh yeah, and they're taking off.
Yeah, so it's not like that's not like whiskey companies or NDPs or craft distilleries aren't surviving. Like Woodard & Strell was bought up by Campari. They're doing great. I think it's I
think you better be a good one to survive. Right
exactly.
Now. Everybody's choosing, okay, which ones are really good, and then we're going to go with you. We're not going to waste our money on, because I mean, gas is outrageous right now. Am I going to go spend on something I don't like? You better be a good bourbon for me to go buy it.
Exactly what she said. People are just not buying it. So the NDPs and craft distillers that are failing, they're not failing because the market is busting. They're failing because they suck.
They haven't made the business, I mean, like any other business.
So here's my next thing I want to read. This is from AI.
Bomb you with their poop.
So falling alcohol consumption has led to provider of major distilled spirits brand MGP Ingredients. So MGP, as we all know, is probably one of the largest suppliers for NDPs. We've already talked about in the past video that their stock has dropped immensely, like over $80. I forget, actually it's been like $100 has dropped in the past year. I didn't know this. They either own or contract, which this isn't saying, and I should have looked it up. They have 2 Kentucky-based distilleries that they operate, and that's a Limestone Branch Distillery and Lux Row Distillery. So Limestone Branch makes Yellowstone and some other stuff. Lux Row makes Lux Row, Blood Oath.
Oh, yeah.
And then Ezra Brooks and a couple other different ones they make. So they're stopping production for at least a year. MGD pausing production at 2 of their Kentucky distilleries, Limestone Branch Distilling and Lux Row Distilling, for at least 1 year, and it's going to affect 33 jobs at those 2 places.
But isn't that smart? Because they're going to stop everything. So if people are going to try to find it in a year, they're going to do it again, it's going to be...
It's not a year. It has nothing to do with next year means nothing. Bourbon has to be aged for 2 to 4 years for it to be straight bourbon whiskey or bottled and bond.
But we don't know if they've already been sitting on so many, barreled the shit out of it.
They can't have, if they don't bottle whiskey all year, and then in 2 years from now, they cannot have a 2-year-old bourbon. Impossible. In 4 years from now, they cannot have a 4-year. They can have a 5-year-old bourbon. They can have a 3-year-old bourbon. They can't have a 2 or a 4.
But if you're telling me if last year they were barreling every single thing, they're going to stop all production because they already have it in the barrels. After a year, they can come back, turn them, do whatever.
Still not going to be a 2-year-old bourbon. It's going to be a 3-year-old. They're going to have a year of a gap of production. And to me, all that is greed. They are going to...
Well, they're a business. They need greed.
No, they don't need greed. No one needs greed to survive. Greed is one of the 7 deadly sins for a reason. To be productive, you need to have production, and the greed part is they have had glut with this, which gluttony is another 7 deadly sin. They've had this glut of production and money and influx, and they see it dying. They see it going away. The prediction is obviously changing. They're going to lose that glut. They may be fine. They may never drop below the red. They may stay high, but they're not going to be shooting from the moon like they've been doing. The allocation stuff is gone. Jim Beam stopped production for a year. MGP stopped production for a year. Buffalo Trace has cut back their production. Somebody else has cut back.
Jack Daniels is following.
I don't know if they're Wild Turkey. You never heard Wild Turkey. No one's ever saying about Wild Turkey cutting production. It's because they've always cut production. They always stop.
Well, I was about to say it's because they've always been smart.
But anyway, my point being is they see that this allocation, this demand is going away. So how do you keep that demand? How do you keep that?
You limit it.
You cut the supply so the demand stays high.
Yeah.
So instead of making it where everybody can get what you make and everybody be happy with your product, they're going to keep that obsession alive. They're going to keep people standing in lines. They're going to keep people paying secondary. They're going to keep all that shit alive. Which is smart to me. I don't think it's smart. I think it's an asshole thing to do. Because you could take this whiskey and sell it, just increase the price. If you sell Green River for $49 a bottle, make it to where everybody can get it and sell it for fucking $56 a bottle.
See, I disagree.
Sell it more. Just charge more. Charge more to everybody where everybody can get it instead of charging a little bit to where some people get it and then they increase the price by 10 times, and then only people who get it are the people who stand in line for 10 hours a night or people who pay 10 times more than it's worth. So I'd rather be able to buy this bottle any day for $60 instead of having to buy this bottle once a year for $600. Now I know no one's buying this for $600, but just use any other bottle that goes for that. And the company is not making that money. Some asshole that hoards it or gets his friend to take the case out of the back door. All these scams and schemes are happening. Like everything else in this fucking country is always a fucking scam or some goddamn scheme to help one person out and fuck everybody else. So these companies could stop the secondary and stop the fucking by producing the shit at a good rate to where every shelf is always full, and they could sell it for just a little bit more to cover that cost of the demand coming down. By having supply readily available.
Would bourbon be that much fun then?
Do you ever fucking stand in line for it?
Yeah, I'd stand in line.
But do you stand in line? Do you do anything to go get?
Not me, personally.
No, and I don't either.
No, not anymore. But when at the beginning, was it not fun to you? Is that not how you got into this? Is not the hunt and the so much fun? That's the treasure of bourbon.
But that's a very minuscule, very small amount of people that do that in the grand scheme of things.
Those are the people who are going to come out there. The rest of everything else is sitting on the shelf.
Those are the people that are going to go stand in line, buy what they can, and for the most part, they're going to turn around and resell it on the secondary market. And they're not doing it for themselves, and they don't need to.
Yeah, but I know. No. But I think that's the fun of it, and that's what people keep coming back to.
Nobody wants anything to do with the secondary.
There's so many people that are buying from the secondary.
Because that's the only place they can get it.
Well, then stop doing it.
Oh, I wish they would stop doing it. If they would,
stop buying it.
That's what I'm saying. Stop buying it from the fucking secondary sellers.
But they want it to be that person who has that awesome bourbon when you don't really need it. If you really just want some bourbon, go buy what's on the shelves.
What was the first?
But then there are some cool ones, just like all these kids are into Nitos and to the Labubus and all these things. It is a thing that makes you hunt.
And it's easy to stop. Easy to stop. If they made...
But this is what fun is in life.
It's not fun. It's not fun.
Maybe not for you.
There's nothing fun about never owning a fucking Btac or never owning a Pappy but one in 3 fucking years because I will refuse to pay secondary.
Okay,
there's nothing fun about that. Matter of fact, I'm getting pissed off right now.
Would you be so much into it if it was always so available?
Yes. I like the way the shit tastes. It ain't got nothing to do with the fucking chase. The only time we've ever went and stood in line was... One night we couldn't fucking sleep. We drove across town and went and got in line. The other time was because we had fun standing in that line and did it again, which you didn't do. You sat in the car all night long and slept. And then the other time was because we just happened to be in fucking Louisville.
How many friends have you met during it?
Just Dave. That's it. Only one.
But you've had a lot of fun time.
It's
experience and memories.
Buffalo Trace sells 1,000 bottles of Pappy Van Winkle every year. And I'm just making up a number.
And every one of them get bought.
Yeah, for $299. They could sell 10,000 bottles of Pappy Van Winkle for $399.
But it wouldn't be as rare, and people
doesn't
would stop
matter.
buying it.
Doesn't matter. They're still going to buy it.
I don't know if they would.
Still going to buy it. It's still going to be sold. They'll sell every bottle, put it on the shelf. If they doubled the production of Pappy Van Winkle and put it on the shelf, every fucking bottle would sell.
Well, let's put this. Comment below and let us know what you think, Homer or Amy. Which one do you agree
secondary with? All right, so the AI, when I was looking all this stuff up, AI had its own comment to say. And its comment, when I asked about the bourbon bust, it said, yes, the unprecedented 2-decade hyper-growth bourbon boom is over, shifting towards, and this is where I'm saying, if they're saying it's over, then that means that everything that it is searched on the internet is saying that the bust is here, that the boom is over. So my question to Google was, is the bourbon boom over? And it said, yes, the unprecedented 2-decade hyper-growth bourbon boom is over, shifting toward a market correction, stabilization, or even a slight contraction. While premium brands remain popular, an oversupply of aging inventory, falling sales volumes, and changing consumer habits, including lower consumption by younger drinkers, have cooled the market. Did you like that green ribbon?
Okay.
Oversupply and production slowdown. Kentucky has over 60 million aging barrels, far exceeding demand. Consequently, major producers are slowing down production with reports. Jim Beam is not producing for a year, as we talked about. Declining sales after years of growth. Bourbon sales volumes fell 1% in 23, 2% in 24. Craft distilleries, around 50 small craft distilleries, reportedly went under or have struggled severely to survive in 2025. Shifting consumer behavior. Younger consumers are drinking less and choosing other categories, like you had said about the drugs and drug derivatives, while overall market demand for over-allocated high-priced bottles is softening. Trade wars, tariffs have impacted international sales. What's next? Better availability and prices. The market is becoming more consumer-friendly with higher availability for bottles previously hard to find. Premiumization and selection. While entry-level sales may slump, high-quality, unique, and well-aged products will likely maintain demand. Correction, not collapse. While the boom is over, analysts believe this is a necessary market correction, with the industry moving towards sustainability and long-term growth rather than complete collapse, which is how we started this video. Even though I said the bust is coming, the bust of the boom is here, but it's just going back to the way it was.
Yeah, but I do think that just like before, I mean, you didn't want your grandpa's bourbon, right?
No, I did.
Okay.
I just wanted to find something different.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was young, I didn't understand what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
I was just looking for something different.
But when you were young, I'm sure, just like the rest of us, you wanted to know about the marijuana.
No.
But now everybody does marijuana.
Yeah, it's time to move on from that shit. It stinks.
But it's just now starting. It's just now starting. It's going to take quite a few years.
Well, I think, to be honest with you, I think that shit's going to end real soon because...
Really? It's not. So I think it's better for your body.
I think it's going to end soon because these companies have created derivatives of marijuana that aren't legally marijuana or THC, but they're going to start regulating this shit because it's unregulated now, and it will become regulated, which will slow it down.
Possibly, but doing that is better for yourself than drinking.
I don't know. There's some of them. That's the thing, is people are starting to realize that that's not 100%.
Now, vapes, on the other hand, is not.
All right, so now you can grab that other bottle. But so much shit has happened in the past year that I can't even remember all the videos that I've made talking about all the different things. I totally forgot about Westward Whiskey until I read that thing. I even made a video about it.
I don't even remember having that.
Yeah, it was a short thing.
Well, it doesn't matter because it's gone.
Yes. So here's another one that's gone. LF Heritage Distilling Company.
Can you pour it while you're doing it?
You want to drink this?
Yeah, I do.
We're never going to have it again. Once it's gone,
it's actually not that bad, guys.
It's gone. So Amy's right. They did some things that were not the best. And well, it's alleged they haven't been convicted of anything yet. They got to prove it. Well, because someone said they did things wrong does not mean they did it until it's proven, or at least a court says they did it.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. Either way, they're another NDP. They wanted to start distilling. They did. They were sourcing from multiple different companies, and they did make some pretty good stuff.
They did.
We had somewhat of a personal relationship with them. We were invited. We went and met the owner, Darren Dillo, and his son. We went and had a day-long tasting. You know, we talked a lot. We've private invites and things like that.
And the sun was awesome.
And we have a video of that whole day we spent up there in Georgetown, Kentucky at LF Heritage Distilling's property. And it was fun. It was a good time. They had good stuff, and they had a great plan for their future. But they had to get there. They did not get there. And unfortunately for them, they've alleged, and this is how, and Amy says they did bad things, which they may or may not have based on facts and proven here and there.
True.
But would they have had to do those things if the market was booming so big that they just sold their product? So that's where the bust part comes in. They created a company based on popularity, did some pretty good stuff, but they just couldn't hang on. So at that point, alleged that they got loans based on property that wasn't theirs as collateral. And whenever they didn't pay those loans, the bank went to take the property, and the actual owner of the property is like, that's not theirs, that's mine. So that's where they're at. They're possibly going to be some jail time in this, definitely some fines. You never know. They may get cleared off this. They may get nothing. Either way, they're done. This bottle sold for $200.
Pretty good.
People commenting on the internet. So their cheapest bottle was the Bloodlines got pretty cheap, but this one, the private stock, the private small batch, private whatever, the white label, the black label, the brown label, they were $99 to $149 to $200. Mm-hmm. People are seeing this stuff, $200 bottle, for sale in liquor stores now for like $39 a bottle.
Because of
because they're done. They can't. No one's buying it, and that just shows. We think it's good, but it does have a little bit of a high malty taste, which I typically don't like. But for some reason, it works for this one because it's not really there so much. But other people obviously don't like it because it's not selling, or it could be the price. If the price was lower, then maybe they could sell it.
But when you read the article and what is going on, sometimes it's just like a harassment thing. You're over. Nobody's going to buy it just because of that reputation. So it could just be that.
Well, I would be willing to bet that a lot of standard whiskey drinkers don't know anything about that. But what I would say is it's just the price on this originally was super high. Like their Bloodlines, to be honest with you, the Bloodlines line, there's 3 different Bloodlines line, and they were cheap. They were $39, $49, and they were not good at all. Now the 6-year Bloodline, it was a $39 bottle. I liked it. If they would have made that to start with, that was kind of like, it seemed to me was like a last-ditch effort to like survive. If they would have done that to begin with and had a good age-stated, affordable bottle, then to come out with this high-end shit, they probably would have been all right. I just think they did the shit backwards.
And if you can't afford it, you can't afford it.
Can't afford it. So
you
anyway,
don't use other people's stuff to do.
Well, I think with the fact that they had Tim Couch, the old Cleveland Browns quarterback from the University of Kentucky quarterback, as an initial buy-in kind of investor, that really helped. And then he just stepped away.
Yeah, I know, but their minds got too big before they got off the ground.
So I just brought that one up because it's just like Uncle Nearest. Well, I don't know. It's not like Uncle Nearest. I think Uncle Nearest did some fucking devious shit just because they're dumb fucks that wanted to take advantage of a banking system. These guys were trying to survive and just made bad choices because they thought that money would work and then they could just pay it back and it wouldn't be an issue.
But you still don't do that.
I get it. But there's a difference. They used somebody else's property as collateral, and the fact that they thought that they were going to make the money back, pay it off, and nobody would ever know. Uncle Nearest borrowed millions and millions of dollars and built millions and millions of dollars worth of homes and bought cars and didn't put any of the money into the business, then the business fucking failed.
Yeah.
It's completely fucking different.
I mean, but it still has the same kind of
different.
mindset.
Completely different. One was just a crook that wanted to use money on a loan to buy houses, and the other one, and you got to put this in perspective. Uncle Nearest borrowed millions upon millions of dollars and then bought homes and cars.
Yeah.
LF Heritage Distilling borrowed $100,000. $100,000. To us, everyday people, is a lot of money, but it was only $100,000, and it was probably to try. They thought they had something that was maybe been for that Bloodline 6-year. They thought, well, this will help us get back, and we can pay it back, and then it'll just get us going. And then it didn't. It's a difference between millions of dollars and being fraudulent and buying homes and cars, and someone that borrowed a menial amount of money and tried to revive the business.
You just don't do that to your neighbor.
Both of them, yeah, I get that, but there's an extreme difference.
Okay.
But anyway, the bust is here, the boom is over, back to normal. That's great.
Man, this video.
Yep, and this has been way too fucking long. So, like, subscribe, comment, share, hit the bell.
Comment below.
And we'll
That should be fun.
see you guys next time.
Keep sipping.